talk about entertainment on the boat.
Like dancing and singing?
No, not like dancing and singing, like movies and TV shows and photos and videos and things along those lines.
And music.
Yeah, and music, yeah. We used to have a whole bunch of DVDs and we had a whole bunch of CDs, and we can't haul our collection around with us all over the place. So what we did instead is we took all that information and we wrote it onto a giant hard drive.
It was a tedious process.
It was. It took a while to actually do it. But we put it all onto a system called a NAS. So let me tell you a little bit more about what a network attached server, or NAS, is. The system that we're using, and hang on just a second, I'm just going to stand, I'm going to walk over here and show it to you. This is it, you can see it. It's plugged into the router. Okay, the system that we're using is called the DS220. Now, this is just the server itself. When you buy it, you actually have to buy the disk drives that go into it separately.
Okay.
In this case, we're going to get 2 disk drives to go with this.
But you have to buy the disk drives because it won't work without them.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So we're going to buy 2 disk drives, and we got 2 4-terabyte disk drives. That's a lot of storage.
It is.
And you'll see our whole collection fits on about 2 terabytes, but we left ourselves plenty of room to grow.
And redundancy.
Yes. If you lose one of your drives in this setup, everything is backed up to the other drive. So every time you write a file to one drive, it also writes it to the second one. So you don't lose your whole collection if you lose a drive.
Right. Good.
Okay.
So how much does something like this cost?
It's a good question. As far as cost goes, the DS220 itself, and these are prices off of Amazon, the DS220 itself costs $337, and then you're looking at $104 for each one of your drives. Okay, I like the Iron Wolf drives by Seagate, and that takes you up to about $545.
Which is a pretty pricey solution.
It is a kind of pricey solution. So if you're on a budget, or this isn't a mission critical thing because you've got access to internet most of the time, you just want to have this for fun, there is another option. You can go with the Synology DS120J, and that one is a single drive system, so you only have one external drive in it. And in this case, it's the processor's not quite as fast, it's going to take a little bit longer to load stuff up, and it's also not going to be able to service as many simultaneous users, but it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
So in this case, the Synology box itself is $99, still got your $104, so that takes you up to a whopping $203. That's a much more affordable option if you're doing this on a budget or it isn't a mission critical thing for you. So when you buy your Synology NAS off of Amazon or wherever you get it, and you get your drive or drives, you actually have to install the drives. And then there's a little quick start guide that walks you right through the process of setting up the system.
Okay, so how skilled do you need to be in techie speak to do this?
It's actually pretty straightforward. And like I said, there's a step-by-step quick start guide that takes you through getting everything put together. You do have to sign up for a Synology account, but it's free. And that gets you all your support and your software updates and everything else along those lines. Also, part of signing up for the Synology account allows you to assign a name to your drive, which you're going to be able to use to talk to it later on. Now, you saw before that I took our drive and I hooked it all up, put it all together, and I plugged it into the modem, in this case here in our apartment. Now, as long as I'm on the same network as that modem, either by Wi-Fi or directly connected by Ethernet cable, then I can talk to the box. So here's how we do it. I'm going to open up a browser and I'm going to go to, you can actually just do a search on Quick Connect or Synology Quick Connect.
Right.
And it brings up this page. I named our NAS Private Island. And by the way, caps don't matter, but no spaces.
Okay.
Okay. You hit connect. Now typically when you hit connect, it would come up and it would ask you for the user ID and password that you set up during the process.
But
I'm not going to show you that.
You've already logged in, so it remembers that.
It's connecting now, and this is any old browser that you can use to do this with on any kind of computer. So it could be your tablet, could be your laptop, could be whatever. And you can see that we have now connected to the actual server. And there's a whole bunch of stuff here, but what I want to draw your attention to first is the file station. Because I want to watch Rocky.
Okay.
Okay, so Rocky's in here. So I'm going to go drive through the file library. I'm going to go to the folder called Movies. So I've got movies, music, other videos, like our videos are on there.
This
Okay.
seems like a
Photo library, TV.
labor-intensive way to get to it.
Kind of. Okay, so there's our movies. And if I pull down here, look, Rocky, right there. So there's Rocky, and if I double click it, it'll start playing.
Okay. But again, fairly labor-intensive.
It's not a real user-friendly way to access your files. And that's where Plex comes in. We're using a service called Plex.
A subscription service.
It is a subscription service. We'll talk more about that. We're using a service called Plex. Now, Plex comes in two parts. There is a media server application that runs on your NAS. So this is the big one. It's the big whopper of an application. It's the one that does all the heavy lifting. And
This is the librarian who's storing all of it and sorting it and putting it in order.
exactly.
Right.
So when you load the media server, and by the way, the Plex media server comes as a resident application on all Synology boxes. All you got to do is say, yes, I want to use it. So when you open that up, it goes out and it finds all the movies and it finds all the stuff that you have stored. So now if we go into movies and I say I want to see Rocky, first of all, it's all indexed. I got a whole bunch of Rocky movies. The other thing that the Plex system did is it went out into the IMDb, or the Internet Movie Database, and it grabbed all the information that was available about Rocky. So now we have a synopsis, we have the actors, we've got reviews, I can watch the trailers.
And all of this is stored on the NAS.
Exactly.
So it's not accessing the internet for any of this information.
You need to have an internet connection the first time you load up the data, because it goes and pulls it all down off the internet, but it stores it all on the NAS, so it's resident then.
Okay.
So all of this is there, even if we're in the middle of the ocean with no internet
I
connection.
can still watch trailers.
We can still watch trailers.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So here's Rocky. Now, as far as this goes, you can tell that we actually have a total of 754 movies. Mm-hmm. Okay, and they're on here. So, where do you watch the movies? Is one question, and the answer is pretty much anywhere you want to. The big application runs on the NAS, but there is a thin client or a smaller application, and that smaller application can be on your handset. It could be on your tablet. It could be on your TV.
And you get these from the App Store, right?
Yep.
So you go to the App Store and you look
As long
for
as you have a
Plex.
smart TV, it can be on your TV. So you can put the Plex app from the App Store on as many devices as you want to.
Okay.
So as long as they're all on the network, as long as they can all see the server.
The server, right.
Either connected by a Ethernet cable or via Wi-Fi, then they can all get in there and begin to access the information.
Cool.
Okay? So the next question, of course, is what does it cost?
Ah, right.
Because you did mention this is a
It's a
subscription
subscription,
service.
right.
But here's the kind of cool thing. If you want to, you can pay $4.99 a month,
Right.
or you could pay $39 for a year. But what we chose to do was we paid $119 for life.
Right. So, I mean, if you're going to use it for any length of time, that's
That's really the way to go.
cost-effective way to do it.
$119 means that we've got automatic software updates for our server. It means that we could put the Plex Thin Client app on as many devices as we want to on our boat. Now, on our boat, there's going to be 6 televisions. Everybody's going to have a tablet. Everybody's going to have a phone. We're going to play it through the stereo system and all over the place.
With computers and, I mean,
So $119, and that's all you ever pay. Oh, by the way, we're also going to be watching our CCTV cameras via the Plex interface. We're also going to be watching local digital TV, because we have a digital TV antenna.
right. But when we're in range.
Yeah,
I mean,
if we're in a port someplace,
Right.
and we can get digital TV, that will just show up on the side over here, as an option.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
And we're going to be listening to all our music too.
Yep, all our music is here. Speaking of music, we have 263 artists. We have 4,245 tracks. You can search by a song. So if I wanted to hear Pontoon by Little Big Town, for instance, there's Pontoon. You can also create playlists. So here, for instance, is my disco dance playlist. So I have 5 hours and 3 minutes
Of disco
worth
music.
of disco music that we could play. Me and Tanya are going to have so much fun.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So, but one of the things that you might have noticed was kind of sneaky. These are brand new movies.
Some of them.
We didn't own the DVDs off this.
Yeah.
So how do you put new stuff? Where do you get new stuff to put onto your NAS?
That's a great question. For content, we use a service called Play on Cloud, and it allows us to download content from the internet and record it onto our NAS. You go to the Play on TV website, or you can download it from the App Store. So I've downloaded it from the App Store, and this is the screen that you get when you open up. Of course, you have to set up an account because it is a subscription service.
Okay.
So if you're connected to the internet, you can use their cloud service. We don't do that. We only record data. It saves it for 7 days, giving us time to download it, and then it deletes it from their server. So we use any of these channels.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. What can I record?
Right. Any of the subscription services that we pay for. So we pay for Netflix or Hulu or Prime Video or Disney Plus or HBO. We don't pay for Showtime, so we can't download anything from Showtime.
Okay, so you have to have a real account and be legally allowed to stream the TV show or the movie that you record.
Right, right.
Okay.
So I can go into HBO, and there's a new movie called Justice League. It just came out, I think yesterday or the day before.
So you're going to get this.
And
so you have it.
Right.
Isn't that a movie that lasts like 4 hours or something like that?
Added to my queue. So it's now recording it to the cloud.
Okay.
It will stay in the cloud for 7 days, and in that time we have to download it and put it onto the NAS.
Okay, great. And then we can watch as many times as we want to after that.
Correct.
Okay, cool. Is this legal?
It is legal. I know PlayOn has had some challenges in court, but it is legal because we pay a subscription fee for HBO or for Netflix. So
okay, so we can legally put this. It's like recording it on our DVR.
Correct.
So if we can stream it, we can do this with it. I can't give it away. I can't sell it. I can't.
Right. You can't sell tickets to come watch it.
Okay.
But we can watch it ourselves because we are subscription holders.
Got it. Got it. And how much did you just spend to buy that 4-hour movie?
We have a package. We buy credits in, I don't know, 300 credits at a time for 50 or 60 bucks. So about 20 cents.
20 cents per movie. Or if you're doing an entire TV series. Let's say that we wanted to get Schitt's Creek, the TV series.
Depending on how many seasons and how many episodes per season, it's 20 cents per episode.
Okay. Okay. But we could get the entire season.
But we could.
Okay.
As long as I can get it on Netflix or Hulu or some other subscription service that we pay for.
And there's a service that's very similar to this that we can use from PlayOn that allows us to get music from our Amazon account. And there's another one that we could use if we had it that would allow us to download books on tape.
Right, Audible.
So, if we had an Audible account, which we don't, but if we had an Audible account, we could download books on tape and store those on the server, and then when we were on watch, we should get an Audible account.
They wouldn't be books on tape.
Oh, they'd be books on NAS. All right. Anyway, but you get the idea. You can put new content on there as long as you're someplace that has an internet connection. So now we've got all our information, and it's there. We've got the applications running on our TV, on our tablets, on our handsets. Bonnie can watch one thing, I can watch another thing, somebody else can be in another room watching another thing. As I said, there's going to be 6 TVs on the boat. Every single TV could be playing a different piece of music or a different movie, or we could play it through the house system and all watch it together, or we could play the same piece of music all over the boat.
Oh my God, this is confusing.
But the bottom line is we can take our entire library with us, and we don't need access to the internet to be able to enjoy it.
Can we watch that movie now?
We need popcorn.
On it.
Okay.
I got the popcorn.
Ready?
Yes.